Good morning, class. My name is Samuel Otieno, and so you can call me Teacher Samuel or Mr. Otieno. I'm going to take you through mathematics, and today we are going to handle a subtopic from where you left with your teacher. I'm going to take over from there. And so I've been informed that you're supposed to begin on the subtopic LCM, that is least common multiple. And so we will just begin right away from there. So least common multiple. Least common multiple is always written in short as LCM, and to define it, LCM or least common multiple means the smallest number that can be divided by two other numbers completely. It is always a number for some given two other numbers, such that the two or more numbers can divide the number completely. That's why it is common. So it is a multiple common to both numbers where we have two numbers, or even to all numbers where we have more than two. So least common multiple is the smallest number that can be divided by two or more numbers. For example, let's assume that we have two numbers, e.g., or for example, 2 and 3. The two numbers I have here are 2 and 3. And therefore, LCM of 2 and 3 is going to be that smallest number possible that can be divided completely by 2 and 3 at the same time. Meaning, if I have the multiple, then 2 can divide that multiple. 3 can divide that multiple, which is in this case a given number. For example, let's have any number that can be divided by 2 and 3 at the same time completely. For example, we have 6. 6 is a number that can be divided by 2 and can be divided by 3. We have another number like 12. 12 can be divided by 2, at the same time can be divided by 3. And therefore, 6 and 12 become multiples of 3 and 2. But now, LCM implies the least common. Of course, 12 and 6 are common multiples because both of them can be divided by two numbers, which is 2 and 3. But now LCM meaning the least common. So between those two multiples, 6 and 12, we look at which one is least, which one is the smallest. And that's become the LCM of the two numbers. For our scenario, we have 6 and 12, two numbers that can be divided both by 3 and 2. And so, the smallest between the two numbers is 6. So, since 6 is less than 12, it becomes the smallest number possible that can be divided by 2 and 3. Hence, it is the least common multiple of 2 and 3. LCM is usually used in the addition and subtraction that involves fraction. So LCM is used in fractional addition and subtraction. That to mean when I have two fractions, I can add them or subtract them comfortably by employing the use of LCM. And so let's take, for example, two fractions, a half or 1/2 and a third. So when I have a half and a third and I want to add these two fractions, the use of LCM will make work easier for me to solve this problem of adding the two fractions. So it means at the same time, when we are handling fractions and we use LCM, we only check the denominators of the two fractions. For example, we have a half. The denominator of a fraction half is 2, while the denominator of a fraction a third is 3. And therefore, when we want to use LCM, we check the denominators. If the denominators of the two fractions to be added are equal, then we don't need to use LCM. LCM applies where we have two different denominators of two fractions. For example, we have a half and a third. The denominator of a half is 2, the denominator of a third is 3. And so, in adding these fractions, we'll have to use LCM. But in a scenario where we have two fractions of the same denominator, there is no need to use LCM. So LCM applies where we have to add fractions involving two different denominators. And so that's how to deal with LCM. A fraction can be improper or proper. So, provided it is a fraction with the two different denominators, or where there are more than two fractions with the different denominators, then we apply the use of LCM in adding or subtracting the fractions. Where we have decimal numbers, we can't use LCM until we change decimal numbers into fractions by either changing them into proper fractions or into improper fractions. And that becomes the explanation and the concept behind least common multiple. So in the next class, we are going to handle a number of examples. We are going to see and work out a number of fractions so that we understand better what is all about LCM. Thank you. Have a nice time. Let's meet in the next class.